What exactly is Angular? Angular is a client-side, which means it runs in the browser, JavaScript framework, which is used to build engaging and reactive user interfaces. This is a definition we could come up with, but what exactly does it mean? Well, the first important part is that it's a client-side JavaScript framework. That means it runs in the browser, not on the server. It's not using Node.js or any other server-side programming language. It uses JavaScript as it runs in the browser. Well, actually, as it will turn out, you will learn that Angular uses TypeScript, which is a superset to JavaScript, but that is just so that we as a developer have a more convenient way of developing Angular applications. We will, in the end, just get a bunch of JavaScript code, even though we don't write that JavaScript code directly. The next important part is that it's a framework. And that simply means it's a set of rules and utility tools and utility helpers which we use in our JavaScript code or our TypeScript code, which we write, that makes our life easier. And that will take care about things like sending HTTP requests, routing, so rendering different pages, different content depending on where the user went in our application, and managing the state, the data our application needs. This would all be possible without Angular or without a framework like Angular 2, but using a framework simply makes it easier. And always keep in mind, in the end, what we will get is a bunch of JavaScript code that we could have written like this, but that is very complex and very sophisticated and hence is easier to write when using a framework like Angular. And last but not least, we are using frameworks or tools like Angular to build engaging and reactive user interfaces. And that is important. We don't use Angular to build very trivial applications most of the time, because it really shines when we have more complex applications, more complex web apps, more complex user interfaces where a lot of things are happening and where we therefore want to control a lot of stuff with JavaScript, which allows us to update things in the browser without reloading the page, without fetching a new HTML page. And where at the same time all this complexity means that we would have to write very complex JavaScript code. And that is where a framework like Angular simply helps us a lot.